recording then.
Okay. We're good.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so let's talk great connections. Who had a great connection with someone this week, or maybe a new enrollment this week?
New enrollment. I had a new enrollment, and I actually, someone who said that she wasn't going to do anything, she wasn't going to do the business side of it before she even got her pack, enrolled somebody. So
nice. That's a good problem to have.
I know, it's a good problem to have. I like it.
I also enrolled somebody this afternoon. I thought it was just going to be just a information call, and she jumped on in, so that was good.
Nice.
Nothing for me this week.
Me neither.
So let's talk product then. Let's talk about why do we care what size pack they start with. Why do you guys think it's a better idea for the product user that they get started with, let's say, a President's Pack over a 30-day?
The 30-day just doesn't give you all of well, I don't do any regular 30 days. I seem to do all customs anymore. And I just feel like it's not, you're only getting part of the tools. And it all works, you know, with it all working together and hand in hand, it's just so much easier to have all of the products. And it always seems like people they wish they would have got a bigger pack. Every time they get started, oh, I just wish I would have, you know, done the Pacesetters pack, or then I wish I would have done the President's pack, or whatever it is. So
I totally agree with that. Yep. I started with the 30-day and wish I had started with the Pacesetter, just because, like Don said, the support, you just have so much more product and it's just easier. So.
And there's a good way to actually identify that. If you just look at what can someone experience in just the first 48 hours, no more than that. So on a 30-day, and not a customized 30-day, a bare naked 30-day, what on earth can someone experience in the first 48 hours?
Just the shakes and how they make them feel, how full
they could have a shake,
how full they keep them.
Yep. What else could they experience in the first 48 hours, other than just shakes?
Detox.
They could have ionics, yeah. They could have ionics and shakes. There's a couple more they could have.
Well, they can, like, their body can experience detoxing.
Yeah, but actual products that they get to consume. They could have shakes. They could have ionics. They could have accelerator.
Oh, yeah, and the flush. Right? Yep.
And the flush. And that's it for the first, with a 30-day. Let's switch over to the President's Pack. If you start with a President's Pack and you have those 4 plus another 4 or 5 more, what are the 4 or 5 more?
The vitamins.
Aegis Essentials, yep.
Maybe a bar.
Yep, they could have a bar.
E-shots.
Snacks.
E-shots, yep. Yep. Maybe an Ice of Delight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They could even try that Rejuvenity skincare sampler that they got too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Now, why do you think I'm fussing about what on earth you can do in the first 48 hours? Who cares? Why does the first 48 hours matter when someone's getting started with reinventing their relationship with food? Why does that matter?
That can just make or break somebody. If they hate it in the first 48 hours, they're going to quit if they're not happy. They're going to quit before they even get started.
Exactly. Exactly. And you'd be surprised how much failure is written into the first 48 hours of someone's experience. It's really challenging. And we want to help them with that. And that's why the President's Pack actually creates such a higher retention rate. because of the help of the extra products. Can you see how that might make sense?
Yeah.
Because we know the highest retention rate in all of the packs is the President's Pack, don't we?
Yes.
Were you aware of that?
No.
Lori
No.
had mentioned it, but I've only enrolled probably 2 President's Packs.
Well, we're going to change that after today.
Great.
We're going to make the President's Pack the normal pack. And anything else is kind of weird.
Okay.
In fact, I asked one gal what her percentages were for enrollments using the method we're going to go over today. She says, well, I'm at 98% President's Packs.
Wow.
And I said, so 2% get Pacesetter Packs for 30 days? No, 2% get Business Builder Packs.
Wow.
Yeah. How'd you like those numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And this isn't someone who's, done this a million years. This is someone who's actually pretty brand new to this. But she's just using a system to enroll someone. So she has exact words to say when she gets to the point about the product. Now, if someone uses the product for, let's say, 60 or 90 days longer on the President's Pack than they do in the 30-day, what's the product experience going to be like because they've been on the product for 2, 3, or 4 months longer?
It's going to be, amazing. They're going to be wondering what took them so long to get involved in it, how they need to figure out how they have to keep it in their system, keep it in their bodies. They always want it. You realize you can't go
Absolutely.
without it.
So we don't have actual billboards that advertise our Isagenix products, but we do have billboards. What are the billboards in our local cities that advertise Isagenix?
Us.
Us and our product users, right?
Yep.
So if people will stay on the product for a better product experience on the President's Pack, wouldn't it be worth it to bother trying to get them to do that?
Definitely.
Imagine a billboard, right? When you look at a billboard, it tends to be of an attractive, happy person, right? Usually isn't ugly, grumpy people on a billboard. Tend to be attractive, happy people. Well, if someone's on the product for 60 or 90 days longer because they started with a larger pack, we're making a more attractive billboard, aren't we?
Yes.
It radically changes the lifespan of someone's product experience. And the lifespan of someone's product experience also gives you more time to help them get their products paid for, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you got a better chance of getting them a consultant even too. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's all the lovely altruistic reasons for getting people to sign up with President's Packs. Now, let's talk about all these selfish reasons. What is the double PIB on a 30-day?
50.
$50. What's the double PIB on a President's Pack?
160.
160, which is an increase of over 300%, isn't it?
Yes.
So that should motivate us, wouldn't you think?
Yes.
300% increase in just one of the ways we get paid?
Yes.
Let's talk BV. What is BV attached to?
Cycling.
Cycling. So what is the BV on a 30-day? Does anybody know off the top of your head?
184.
Well, just bare naked, 164. Yeah.
164.
Yep. And the BV on a President's Pack?
Like 320 or something crazy.
320. So just by basic math, we're not trying to get into the little digits, but it looks like it's 100% more BV, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, who gets to share that BV when you enroll someone with a President's Pack over a 30-day? Who gets to benefit from that BV?
I do, and everybody who, anybody on the team.
Anybody on that leg with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a way to help people who maybe aren't in as much action as you are to actually create BV to be able to cycle, right?
Right.
So it looks like it's 100% more BV, which should motivate us. That should be enough. But the fact is, the difference in BV between a 30-day and a President's Pack isn't 100%. It's 500 to 1,000% more BV. And you might think I can't do math, but where's my math coming from? How can it be worth more BV?
It's over a period of time. It's a longer period of
Yeah.
time. You stay on it longer.
Yeah, the retention rate changes it. Does everybody see that?
Yep.
So imagine if you learned how to do something that allowed for your team to share 500 to 1,000% more BV.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be a good thing?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Which is exactly what has happened to people who use the method we're going to teach tonight. They are cycling more. Their people are cycling more. We've had people cross a very difficult barrier, and that's the barrier to 5-star. And they haven't done it because they've done a lot more enrolling. It's just that their average enrollment created so much more BV. They just stayed in the same action they were when they were 3 or 4-star, but it jumped them all the way up to 5-star. Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, no more 9 to 3 job for me.
So let's start off with how do we do this? We do this by, unfortunately, doing the opposite of what we're suggested to do by corporate. Now, don't feel you need to text them. I've already talked to them about how crazy their thoughts are. Good, better, best. Good, better, best doesn't work. And it doesn't work because there is no sales company in the world that would ever tell you to start at the bottom. Doesn't exist. Why? Because you'd be broke. You'd be broke if you did that. So we're going to learn to start at the top and go down instead of the bottom and go up. Now, the reason we're going to do that is the first number that comes out of your mouth establishes the perceived value of your entire product line. So when you say, my pack I'm recommending is worth $275, then your product line is worth $275. And that's it. It's not worth a cent more. Everything above that is an extravagance. You're going to add on this and add on that and add on this. If you start at the top and go down, then your product line is worth how much? What's the top pack?
$559.
Or
A little higher than that.
$1,099.
$10.99
Yeah.
is the top pack. Now, right now, you're doing some logic. Oh, but he's not going to ask us to mention that pack to people who want to lose 10 pounds. Actually, I am. I'm going to ask you to mention it with everybody. Why? Because we're not trying to sell it to anybody. Don't worry about it. We're just trying to change the perceived value of your product line. And right now, the way you're starting, your value is $275. And that's why going up is so difficult. Can everyone see that logic so far?
Yep.
Now, I tell you, no one's going to poke you in the eye with a fork because you mentioned the top pack. I know you're afraid that this is going to lose you enrollments. It doesn't. It actually leads to quicker enrollments with larger packs. Why? We've been teaching this for 2 years. We've got 2 years of data to back it up. It is not an experiment. I would never teach you guys an experiment. That would be cruel. For instance, we know with the bottom-up method, the results for corporate is 8% President's Packs. We've documented the results going top-down, and it beats 8% to death because it ranges from a low of 30% to a high of 100% President's Packs.
Wow.
And all we're going to do is learn to say the same thing every time. Now, the biggest challenge you're going to have is that most of you on this call always talk about the pack you started with, don't you?
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's really how you base what you're going to dare tell someone, don't you?
Yeah.
That means you're a normal human being. Don't feel bad. But the problem with that is that's like only selling your size of shoe if you were a shoe salesperson. Like I wear a size 13 men's. If I was only willing to sell you guys a size 13 men's, could any of you guys buy shoes from me?
No.
No. You'd look a little funny with my big shoes on, wouldn't you? Look like we should be putting you and 17 more into a little car and trying to get out of it. Now, the reason I say that is, remember, we have 70 products that address 30 different challenges that families face every day. And unless their situation and their condition is identical to yours, you shouldn't just be talking about how you started, because they may need a different method in order to reach their goals. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, the other thing is, I got to convince you to stop selling. We're not in the sales business. We're in the show business. We don't sell anybody anything. We just show them their 4 options, and then we support them no matter how they say they want to get started. But we don't try to sell them anything. At no time do we stop and say, well, do you want to buy this one? We don't do that. We're just going to show them 4 options, and then they're going to decide to get started however they feel they can get started. But we aren't selling anything. Can we make that shift possibly?
Yeah.
0 sales. Okay? We're just going to show them, nothing more. Now, the top pack right now costs $10.99. Do you guys get the joke? No? You don't get the joke?
No.
The top pack that starts your business it costs $10.99. And when you do your income taxes and you start a business, it's called the 1099 form.
Okay.
I know, it's a terrible joke. I didn't make it. They did. But somebody thought that was funny years ago. I didn't know the joke until I was teaching this, and one of the people in the call says, you know, I made up the joke. I said, what are you talking about? Well, a 1099 joke. And I said, I'm Canadian. I wouldn't get the joke. Oh, sorry. And then I had to tell her, and most Americans don't get it either, so settle down. Please cancel your gig at Yuck Yucks, because it's not happening. Now, that being said, I'm asking Isagenix to consider at least making a larger pack than the 1099 pack. I'm asking them to consider a $5,000 Platinum Business Builders pack. Isn't that the dumbest idea you've ever heard? Be honest, it's okay.
If people can spend that money, then great.
Well, actually, if you ran across a deliberate business builder, you would want to always show this to them because of the value in it. For $5,000, you would get every single product in every flavor it comes in full box or canister form. So all of the shakes, all of the Isodelites, all of the bars, everything. If Isagenix makes it, you get a box of it completely. It's about $3,000 worth of product you get. And with it, you would be allowed to resell that product at either wholesale or retail rates. It's completely up to you. You could actually make a profit right off the product immediately if you sold it retail. And you wouldn't have to make an auto ship order for the next 6 months. You're covered. How's that sound so far?
Good.
Don't think I've convinced you guys. Okay, I also want them to offer free VIP attendance to Celebration, New Year's Kickoff, all of the Isagenix universities, and all of the universities in action for the next year for you and one other person as a guest. Now all your training's in the box. Interested yet?
Getting better.
Getting better. One last one, because you come in as a platinum builder, you would receive the contact information for your regional sales director. So you would never call customer service when you have a question. You would just call your regional sales director because you came in as a platinum builder. You get personalized service from them directly because you came in at that level. Now remember, after taxes, this pack's only going to cost you about $3,500. You could make it all back on the product if you wanted to and go to all the events for free. It's completely up to you. Doesn't sound like anyone's still sold with it. Darn. Okay, one last thing. $500 PIB, $1,000 double PIB, and $3,000 BV when you sign someone up with it.
Oh.
Holy cow.
Now what do you think?
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't you at least mention it if someone was coming in as a deliberate builder?
Yeah.
You know? Because if you had a bunch of BV on a team leg and you signed someone up with that Platinum Business Builders pack on your focus leg and signed up one other pack the same week, you could make $1,500 that week just in double PIBs and cycles.
Jeez.
That'd be worth mentioning, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Nice $1,500 week.
Mhm.
Now, the reason I want us to do it is I don't care if anyone ever buys it. I just think our top pack is too small as it relates to what the business can offer people. It's really hard to tell someone, yeah, we've got people making $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a week with this business model. Really? Well, what's the most I can invest? $1,000. Oh, well, that sounds like a lottery. That doesn't sound like a business. And that is what it sounds like. It sounds like a lottery, not a business. That make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I know this may be new to talk this way about yourself and what you have to offer, but I would like you to get used to describing your entire product line, not just your favorites or the ones that don't make your butt squeak. Well, the first time you mention the Business Builders Pack, you're going to say, excuse me for a second, go to the bathroom because you're going to want to pee your pants. Yeah. I had one millionaire say, I thought I was going to have to go to the emergency room. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And I said, you've already made $1 million in Isogenics and you feel uncomfortable mentioning the Business Builders Pack? You, of all people, shouldn't have a trouble with this.
Right.
You've already made $1 million. Now, that being said, when we get to the place, well, the reason we wanted the $5,000 pack is really quite simple. If you've got a $5,000 pack at the top and you go down, now our regular Business Builders pack is 80% off. And the President's pack is 90% off. We'd never sell another 30 days as long as we lived. It's too far down. And that's really the only reason I want to do it. Make it so people never start with a 30-day. Why? Because the lifespan of a 30 days is about 28 days. And if we're really in the business of getting people to change their health, we don't want them to start with a bare bones pack. So when we get to the very beginning and we say to someone, so you think you want to get started? Yeah, what are my options? Now, some of you get caught up with the really tricky question. You've probably heard this question before. How much is this going to cost? You ever had that asked?
Yes.
And then, of course, you mentioned the bottom pack because they mentioned how much it was going to cost, right?
Yep. Cost is an issue
You're
for
new-
everybody, even though you try to explain that it's you're just reallocating your grocery budget. But for people to drop $500, $600 at the beginning of the month, they'll freak out. Like nobody can do that. And even if they were to sit there and figure out how much they spend on their groceries, they're not spending it all at one time. They spend it throughout the week, throughout the month. And so many people live paycheck to paycheck. And so they can't drop that much money.
Plus, then they still have to pay for their children too. Like they still have to cook for their kids if they're not doing the shakes or whatever, replacing the entire meals, their children and stuff.
Right.
So you guys have pretty much talked yourself out of the idea that anyone can start with a President's Pack, haven't you?
Those are just all the things that they always come to us with.
Oh, I know. But when someone says, how much does this cost? The answer is, I don't know. I don't know how much you're going to order. For instance, if you walk into a restaurant and as the maitre d' sat you down, and it isn't even your waiter yet, you said, could I have the check, please? What? I'd like to pay ahead of time. Well, we don't know what you're ordering. Well, just guess. No, we can't. You have to order first, and then I'll tell you how much it costs. Again, you're otherwise just telling them what you spent, because you don't know how much they're going to order. The other thing you don't realize is it's really expensive to have a bad relationship with food. Much more expensive than you think. And that's why when it comes to something like a President's Pack and someone says, why would you recommend that? And I say, I want you to have your best product experience possible. So I want you to invest in all three systems right out the gate. And if after 30 days you don't experience a measurable benefit physically and financially, please ask for your money back, because we believe in 100% money back guarantees.
What is the rate of guarantees? Do a lot of people return the packs?
The more you promise the guarantees, the less they return it. I know it sounds like that doesn't make sense, but it does, because if you make it clear that this company is so sure that this works, that they're willing to give you your money back on food, are they nuts? Well, they're so sure it's going to work that yes, they do. And because of that, people tend to take more personal responsibility rather than less if they're dissatisfied. Now, that being said, we get to this point where we say, let's show you your options at least. Well, I want you to learn to ask one question first. And that question is probably something you've never asked anybody before. So you're going to want to write it down. Very simple. Do you think your partner is going to want to do this with you? Have you ever asked people that before you enrolled them?
No.
No. Why do you think I'm going to ask them that? That's a crazy thing to ask, isn't it? I want you to ask because the best deal in Isagenix, the best value, is a couple joining together and joining with what we call the PK Pack. Have you guys ever offered anybody the PK Pack before?
No.
No? I didn't name it after me. Someone else named it after I created the idea. So I'm not that egotistical. But I didn't give it a name, so they had to name it something. What it is, if you put together a Shake and Cleanse pack with a Business Builders pack, that couple gets the Rolls Royce of 30-day experiences. And if you show them the process I'm about to show you, they'll get $2,000 worth of product for less than one President's Pack for them to split as a couple. It's the best deal in Isagenix. So if you can just draw it out with me, okay? We're gonna sign up the wife with a Shake and Cleanse pack, because we need what's in the Shake and Cleanse pack to make up that Rolls Royce experience. But then she's going to enroll her own husband with the Business Builders pack. Now, when you do that, you really create this amazing experience for the couple. They get shakes, ionics, and cleanse for 30 days for both of them. Plus, they get Aegis Essentials and Product B for each gender for 30 days. Plus, they get e-shots and isodolites and bars and whey thins and fiber snacks and joint support and joint cream and brain support and sleep spray. Enough Rejuvenity skincare samplers for her to use on herself for the entire month. 5 shaker cups, an international business license, a domestic business license, a huge discount off a training for that next year, a lookbook, and a 90-day game plan workbook. It's the most a couple can ever split. It's enormous. And if they just enroll one friend that same week that they enroll with a President's Pack on the other leg, they get all of it for less than $500. Have you never heard this explained to you by anybody?
No.
Oh.
This is all brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if you can draw it out, we'll sign up the wife, Sandy, with the Shake and Cleanse Pack, then sign up her handsome, bald husband, Kevin, with the Business Builders Pack, and then on the other side, sign up the friend with the President's Pack. So you've got the 3 enrollments written, right? So let's see what Sandy makes. So Sandy signed up 2 people, so she became a consultant. So she made $50. Now, she became a consultant the first week. So we recommend that all of you offer a Crystal Consultant bonus for people who become consultants the first week. Have you guys ever offered a Crystal Consultant before?
No.
No? Okay. It works. People will actually get into action if you let them know that you're going to match the bonus that they get from Isagenix if they go consultant the first week. Now, it's no money from you because you're going to make $100 for making the consultant if you haven't already made your first 20. So you split it with anyone who goes consultant in the first 7 days. Why? Because it really motivates people to get going. Kent and Kelsey Byers from Houston, Texas, they hold the record. They had 6 people go Crystal Consultant in 7 days. So could you imagine adding 6 consultants in a week?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Tammy from Minnesota, they were a Crystal Manager with 5, trying to get 1 more to Crystal Director. Instead of getting 1 week, they made 5 Crystal Consultants in 1 week. So they went from Crystal Manager to Crystal Executive in 7 days. So they gave away $250, but they made $2,250 just in bonuses. That's a good week.
That is a good week.
Yeah, it works. And next week we'll talk about what is the phraseology we use when we enroll someone so they understand what we're offering them. But part of that is a Crystal Consultant bonus. So $50 for going consultant, $50 for going Crystal Consultant, plus Sandy's going to cycle the first week because there's 600 BV in the Business Builders Pack and 320 in the President's Pack. So boom, she cycles. There's another 54. So 50 plus 50 plus 54. We're up to $154 Sandy's made instantly. But she gets $160 back in double PIBs off the President's Pack and $300 back in double PIBs off the Business Builders Pack. When you add all that up, Sandy instantly makes $614. How's that for a good first week?
That's a great week.
Do all those numbers make sense to everybody? The 50, the 50, the 54, the 160, and the 300?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one last figure, and that is at tax time, they can deduct that $10.99 pack, and the average family will get back between $200 and $340 at tax time. We claim the smaller number, even though most people will be $150 more. So put another $200 on the 614, that means they're now getting $814 back from their initial investment. Their initial investment would be $10.99 plus a Shake and Cleanse pack and enrolling and all that kind of stuff. Let's round it up to $1,300. 1,300 minus 814 is 486. That is less than one President's Pack or 2 30-day packs. And that couple gets the Rolls-Royce experience. What do you think of that kind of a deal to offer somebody?
Yeah, I mean, if they're going into it for the business, it's a great, it's a great option. They should jump in on it.
Well, even if someone just wants a great product experience, they're doing the business because they got paid the first week.
Yeah.
Right? They just
Yep.
made $614 in the first 7 days. Now, I know this is new, but I can tell you the people that follow my advice and ask that question, once they make one PK pack, they're kind of like rabbits. You end up with more. We had one gal just tell her team that since she's been doing this, she has enrolled 4 PK packs, and those 4 PK packs have created another 2. Just because when she gets in the enrolling process, she always asks them, do you think your partner might want to do this with you? So can you see yourself making that adjustment?
Yeah.
We only do it because of value. It's the best deal out there. I met a couple at Celebration. I was at a team dinner with them, and they said, we started with the pack named after you. I said, oh, the PK pack? He says, yeah. I said, well, if you don't mind me asking, did you eat it all the first month? He says, oh, goodness, yes. In fact, our auto ship order is $1,000 a month. Wouldn't you like your enrollees' auto ships to be $1,000 a month?
Yes.
Why? Well, they found out they were spending that money anyways. They were just buying it at traditional stores. Why not buy it from our own online store that specializes in superfood? So that's what they do. Now, there's a gal in Isogenics, Leslie Wall. She's one of the fastest master level swimmers in the world, and she's in Isogenics. And she did an entire PK pack in a single phone call. She called the couple. The couple were ready to go and already had their other person to go with the President's Pack. So in a single phone call, she enrolls the wife, shows the wife how to enroll the husband and the friend, and boom, does a PK pack in one phone call. Now, because her name is Lisa, much like 3 goals in a hockey game is called a hat trick, well, a PK pack in a single phone call is called pulling a Lisa. And that's the title we gave it because of her. So that's our first question. Would you think your partner might want to do this with you? If they say no, then we use the simple script. Now, have you guys ever seen the written out script of what to say to enroll people?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's always on you. You didn't know it was there, but it's always on you. So if you go to Facebook and in the search bar, type in the Evolved Economy. That's our business page on Facebook, the Evolved Economy. On that Evolved Economy site, if you just scroll down it, you'll see a script that starts at the Business Builders Pack and goes down. Now, we do that on purpose so you don't have to worry about carrying it with you. It's always on you if you've got your phone on you. Now, if you want, you can share that script onto your own team Facebook page you have for your business. Does that make sense where to find it?
Yep.
Yep.
The audio visual of it is always also on in your phone because it's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and look at my channel, PK Smith, on there you'll see a video called the Product Line Description. The product line description. And it's me just describing audio-visually exactly what's in the script. Now, the key to the script is that it's short. So I'm going to ask you to not feel you need to add little things with the script. It takes less than 2 minutes on purpose. Why? Well, we've been able to prove that if you say less, they'll actually enroll with a larger pack. And the pack that you give the most energy to or time to, that's the pack inevitably that they start with. Which is why we'd like you to say the script, and then when someone says where they're going to land, if there are options on that pack, then go ahead and share the options. But don't go Business Builders Pack, President's Pack, oh, by the way, there's 4 kinds of President's Packs, then Pacesetter Pack, and oh, by the way, there's 3 different customizable 30 days. Just do the top-down description. After they've decided where they're going to land, you can show them some options. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the script sounds like this. I always recommend the pack that Isagenix named after me, the Business Builders Pack. It's your business in a box for $10.99, so you pay for it with pre-tax money instead of post-tax money. It's tax deductible. Our second pack is the President's Pack, and it's $5.59. Now, it's kind of like a big tree. If you can imagine the big bushy part of the top, that's its 2 main objectives. Number 1, it helps you reinvent your relationship with food. And number 2, it helps you begin your journey to recapture your health. Now, the trunk of the tree, that symbolizes the 3 essential systems in a single box. The first system addresses 2 of your 3 meals for the entire month. The second system addresses your snacking needs, and the third system addresses your mineral and vitamin deficiencies. Now, this isn't because our shakes need any help. It's your groceries that need the help. Without our Aegis Essentials, you'll be failing to capture all of the energy your groceries are trying to deliver. Now, our third pack is the Pacesetter Pack, and it's a compromise based upon a price point. And we're going to support you no matter how you choose to get started, but it is only 2 of the 3 systems found in the President's Pack, only meals and snacks. Finally, our 4th pack is our introductory pack or our 30-day pack. And it only addresses 1 system, only your meals. And we would highly recommend that you invest in some snacking because we've all taken a solemn vow. Friends don't let friends cleanse without ice of the lights. So how would you like to get started? And that's it. 2 minutes, top to bottom. Does that sound unbelievable as something that you could share with somebody?
That's good.
We recommend the first few times you do it, do them on 3-way calls so you can just read it. And don't worry about memorizing. In fact, I have one Isagenix millionaire who reads it in public on purpose to prove her point. She's never memorized it. So she reads it at a launch party and they still join with President's Packs. And then people will say, well, why don't you memorize it? I said, I don't need to memorize it. Look, they still join with President's Packs and they know I read it. Nobody cares if you're reading. So.
And it shows it's duplicatable.
Yes. Yeah, when someone says, how do I do this? You say, oh, here, read this. You mean you read that? Yeah, I didn't make that up. No.
Okay.
Now, be prepared, and this has happened 3 times so far. If you say this, you will have people who say, okay, I'll take the one named after you, the Business Builders Pack. When that happens, please do not either pee your pants or laugh in their face. Okay? Because it does happen. The first time people use the script, all of a sudden someone's starting with a Business Builders Pack. Probably the best example is Tracy Salati from Toronto, Ontario. The very first time she used it, the woman said, yeah, I'll take the one named after you. And Tracy doesn't miss a beat. She says, can I show you how to get this paid for? Yeah, sure. How? Well, if we sign up 2 of your friends with Business Builders packs this week, you would get back $754. And the woman says, hold on, I know my tax rate. I'm going to get back $350 at tax time. Okay. Well, that means I'm only paying $750 for it. Okay. And I'm going to get $754 back the first week? Yes, if you sign up 2 friends with Business Builders packs, which freaks the woman out. And she says, well, let's get on the phone. It took her 3 days. And in 3 days, she signed up 2 friends with Business Builders packs. Made $754 the first week. Explained the same thing to her 2 friends. One friend, the next week, signed up someone with 2 Business Builders packs. The other signed up 2 friends, one with a President's pack, one with a Business Builders pack. So the first lady made $1,150 in 11 days. All because Tracy dared to read the stupid script. So do we dare?
We dare.
Mhm.
Now remember, most people aren't going to buy the Business Builders pack, and we're not trying to get them to buy it. Okay? We're not trying to do that. Most people who buy it only buy it because of tax deductions. That's why they buy it. So that's why we don't even bother telling them what's in it, because it doesn't matter. But if you hear the first pack's $1,100 and the second pack is $559, what mathematical conclusion do you come to?
It's half the price.
It's half price. Go the other way around and say that your first pack is $275, but I want you to start with is $559. Now what do you got to do?
It's double.
It's double. Now you're thinking, yeah, but it's still $559. No, it's a product line that's worth $1,100 that you're getting for $559, or a product line that's worth $275 that costs $559. Because of the first number you mentioned, the perceived value of their entire product line description and their product experience changes. Just because you mentioned the bigger pack first.
Makes sense.
2 years, guys. We've been experimenting with 2 years. It works. It absolutely works. I had this sweet lady. She was so sweet sounding on the phone. I don't know her age, but she sounded like she was, you know, knitting a scarf for an orphan while she was talking to you, like that kind of sweet. And she said to me, says, PK, I just wanted to let you know, I used your script, and I had 2 people start with President's packs. And I said, well, did they argue about the price? You know, it's just like you said, it didn't come up. And I said, well, how many President's packs have you ever had people join with? She said, well, 2, the ones I just told you about.
Awesome.
Now notice we simplified it, okay? We didn't say there were 5 pillars. We just described it as 3 systems. And that's because we don't talk about cleansing, and we don't talk about telomere support very much. Why do you think we don't talk about those 2 things?
It sounds scary.
It sounds scary. Especially the cleansing part. How do I sell them something that signifies the day that they don't eat?
Yeah.
How does that cost me money? Tell me the value there, please.
Yeah.
And the other one, telomere support. You guys probably don't know this, but Isagenix had been making product B for 5 years before Harvard Medical School actually recognized that telomere support was a possibility. So this is some pretty early stuff here, guys. I don't want to turn it into a chemistry class. So we dumb it down, 3 systems. Just 3 systems. And then when you go down, the Pace Center pack is 2, and the introductory or 30-day pack is 1. Why do you think I want them to get rid of the number in the bottom pack?
Get rid of
Why
the
would I rather? Yeah, I don't want a number attached to our bottom pack. I hate the name 30 day.
Oh.
Why do I hate it? What does it sound like?
It's cheap.
And it's a diet.
Mm.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a beginning and an end, and it's 30 days. That's diet talk,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I wish we called it the introductory pack. Just like I'm trying to get them to create a maternity pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be great.
I'm going to headquarters here in the next few weeks, and I want to talk to them about the maternity pack.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason why one of those customizable 30 days wasn't a maternity pack. Right?
Right.
Only give them what they can use either while pregnant or nursing in a pack. Wouldn't that be an easy marketing?
Yes.
That's going to be one of the other things I whine about while I'm there. There's a lot of things to whine about. But that's how I get things done. Strategic whining. So, your homework this week with your enrollments is dare, when you get to the packs, to say, do you think your partner might want to do this with you? If the answer is yes, show them the PK pack. If the answer is no, just use the script. Can we dare to try that this week?
Yes.
No one is wearing an eye patch because their friend stabbed them in the eye with a fork because they did this, okay? It has not happened. Okay?
Okay.
It is what you're going to think is going to happen, but I guarantee you it hasn't happened.
And so,
Deal?
how do you, some people, like, they just won't, even the 30-day is so expensive. They want to do it. They want to do it. But even the like, they just can't spend that money.
Well, we asked them where they'd like to get started then. How would you like to get started? Those are our 4 main packs that kind of give you your best value. I'm not a big fan of trying to go too much lower than that, or the success rate's going to stink so bad. It's not great advertisement for your product.
Right.
Now, that being said, I was enrolled with a 9-day.
Really?
And I wouldn't mention a 9-day to anybody other than someone I don't like. It's awful. Try using this system and see if it doesn't change some of the financial arguments you have, because we have found it reduces the financial arguments when we use the language.
Okay.
Try 10 times and see whether you don't see a reduction in those kind of conversations.
And so what do we do with the people that haven't signed up yet that we've already talked price and?
Well, you could be honest and say, you know what, I've just learned a new way to describe what our products can do for you. Could I show it to you one more time kind of fresh? Or you could use the could you do me a favor method. Hey, I'm just learning to do this. Can I test drive it on you?
Okay.
You'd be surprised. I must jump, though. I've got to jump on another call. So top down, use the product line description, and next week we'll learn how to turn them into consultants, okay?
All right. Thank you, PK.
Have a great week, guys.
Thank you.
You.
Yeah.
Bye.